La base de notre activité, c'est la réduction de sel. Et le pourquoi, c'est que les gens mangent 2 fois trop de sel par rapport à ce qui est recommandé. Ça peut augmenter la pression artérielle et l'hypertension va être la première cause de maladies cardiovasculaires qui sont responsables dans le monde de 16 à 18 millions de décès chaque année. L'OMS considère que le sel en lui-même est responsable de 4 millions de décès par an. Donc pourquoi est-ce qu'on fait ce qu'on fait? C'est d'arriver à avoir un impact mesurable sur la santé des gens et on essaye de chiffrer ça en disant que notre objectif est de sauver 1 million de vies par an. C'est ambitieux. Ensuite, comment est-ce qu'on le fait? C'est on travaille avec des industriels pour les aider à réduire le taux de sel dans leurs produits, mais sans qu'il y ait d'impact au niveau du goût. Donc, moins de sel, autant de goût. Et la solution qu'on offre est un sel naturel avec une saveur exceptionnelle, mais seulement 8% de sodium. Donc voilà, suite à l'introduction, est-ce que tout le monde m'entend bien? Oui, ça va? Ok, parfait. Et donc, la réduction de sel est effectivement un grand enjeu de santé publique. Parmi les 25 mesures phares du gouvernement Macron pour améliorer votre santé, la seule qui est chiffrée, c'est l'ambition de réduire la consommation de sel de 20% dans les 5 prochaines années. Ce qui est merveilleux, c'est qu'il y a un exemple d'un pays qui a fait cette réduction. Donc en Angleterre, ils ont réduit de 15% leur consommation de sel en 10 ans, ce qui a permis de réduire de 40% le taux de maladies cardiovasculaires. Donc ça sauve des dizaines de milliers de vies chaque année et des milliards à la sécurité sociale. Donc comment est-ce qu'on peut y arriver? En tant qu'industriel, on se retrouve donc face au défi de réduire le taux de sel dans les produits. La première solution, c'est de mettre moins de sel. Ça semble assez logique, mais il y a certaines limitations là-dessus. La première, c'est le goût, mais également la conservation des produits. Donc, c'est la première solution. L'autre solution, c'est qu'il existe aujourd'hui diverses alternatives qui sont principalement des sels minéraux. Donc, on va remplacer le sodium par du potassium ou du magnésium. Cependant, l'inconvénient, c'est que tant le potassium que le magnésium ont un impact négatif au niveau du goût et n'ont pas nécessairement toutes les fonctionnalités pour réduire le sodium. C'est pour ça que nous, on vous propose la solution magique. C'est un sel naturel bas en sodium. Donc, il est 100% naturel. Il est certifié d'ailleurs éco-garanti. Il possède une saveur exceptionnelle. Et là, c'est pas seulement mon avis, évidemment, mais un avis d'un panel de chefs qui s'appelle le International Taste and Quality Institute, qui est un panel de chefs étoilés qui se rassemblent une fois par an pour goûter différents produits. Et nous avons participé 2 fois et obtenu 2 fois la cote maximale de 3 étoiles, qui signifie saveur salée exceptionnelle. Et tout ça pour seulement 8% de sodium. Donc, j'ai mon collègue partenaire qui va vous montrer le produit. Vous voyez, il est assez bien différent du sel fin qu'on connaît d'habitude, parce que déjà, il est liquide. Donc, on va vous le faire passer sur les sièges. Donc, pour les plus courageux d'entre vous, vous pouvez goûter un petit spray, soit sur un petit bâtonnet, soit directement sur votre main. Et l'idée, c'est que vous ressentiez le goût salé, mais pas d'arrière-goût négatif. Donc, la bonne nouvelle pour moi, c'est qu'au mieux, j'aurai juste des petites grimaces en face de moi et pas des dégoûts absolus. Et donc, qu'est-ce qui rend notre produit unique? C'est l'endroit où on produit le sel, qui est l'île de Formentera. Formentera est une petite île située dans les Baléares, juste en dessous d'Ibiza, que les gens connaissent mieux, mais pour d'autres raisons que la santé. Et ce qui est donc ici, désolé, je vous montre. Donc, la zone que je viens d'indiquer est composée d'une lagune d'eau salée de 400 hectares et de plus ou moins 100 hectares de salines. Et ce qui est absolument unique, c'est l'environnement qu'il y a autour de Formentera. Et autour de Formentera, on a la plus grande réserve mondiale d'une plante sous-marine qui s'appelle la Posidonie océanique. Et c'est une plante verte qui produit de l'oxygène et qui va filtrer l'eau de mer autour de Formentera. Donc elle est particulièrement transparente, particulièrement pure. Et cette eau va alimenter une lagune et ensuite les salines. Et donc, grâce aux caractéristiques uniques de l'eau et également du sol des salines, on peut récolter le sel avant qu'il cristallise. Donc normalement, pour faire du sel marin conventionnel, on prend de l'eau de mer, on laisse tout évaporer. Et nous, grâce à cette biodiversité unique, on peut la récolter juste avant qu'elle cristallise. Parce que sous cette forme liquide, on va avoir le goût exceptionnel que vous aviez pu goûter vous-même, mais seulement 8% de sodium. Donc voilà un petit peu les certifications qu'on a. Donc comme je vous disais, éco-garantie et également CO2 neutre, étant donné qu'on est en produit naturel, on ne veut pas avoir d'impact négatif au niveau de l'environnement. Donc quel est notre objectif? C'est de réduire substantiellement le taux de sel dans les produits, mais sans impact au niveau du goût. Donc aujourd'hui, notre sel est présent chez Deleuze en Belgique, mais également chez Carrefour, qui au sein de son Act for Food a décidé en Belgique de réduire de 25% le taux de sel dans la plupart de ses pains. Nous sommes également en train de tester dans des jambons, dans des poissons, dans du saumon fumé. On est également dans des pizzas ou des lasagnes. Donc toute une gamme de produits différents. Et à chaque fois, nous garantissons une réduction de sodium d'au moins 25% sans impact au niveau du goût. Voilà certains de nos clients. Et alors pour les industriels parmi vous, quel est l'intérêt de s'engager dans la démarche de réduction de sel? D'une part, c'est d'arriver à se différencier de vos concurrents en leur démontrant que vous avez un produit qui est objectivement meilleur pour leur santé parce que réduit en sel. Ensuite, en France, il y a plus ou moins un adulte sur 3 qui souffre d'hypertension et qui devrait activement monitorer sa consommation de sel. Et finalement, c'est d'arriver pour des retailers à augmenter leurs visites dans les magasins, mais également de démontrer que vous vous engagez réellement pour la santé de vos consommateurs, que vous êtes prêts à innover pour servir à votre consommateur un produit tout aussi savoureux, mais plus sain. Merci beaucoup.
Bonjour, hello, good morning. My name is Junghoon, Professor Junghoon. I'm working for Seoul National University. I'm sorry, I don't speak French. Next, 2 years later, I will learn French. Then I will speak in French. But this time, sorry, English. Yeah. Today, I'm here to talk about the vegetable fermentation in East Asia, especially focusing on Korea. Okay? So these days, we found that people eat more meat and less vegetable. Okay? But meat does not have any problems itself. The problem is that unbalanced intaking food between meat and vegetable. So which means that more meat and less vegetable intake result in sometimes obesity, also high blood pressure, or diabetes, etc. Right? So vegetable is a really good source of fiber. Fiber is good for your gut health because fiber from vegetable is prebiotics. Prebiotics is kind of a food for probiotics in your gut. So intaking enough vegetable fiber is very important for your gut health. Okay? And we conducted a survey. So we make a question, like how often do you eat vegetable or salad? Unfortunately, we found that in France, French people, just a half of French people eat vegetable daily. Another half, you don't eat vegetable daily. But surprisingly, as you see here, Korea, 100%. every day. All Korean eat vegetable every day. What happened to Korean people? So in terms of the, how can I say, the volume per capita, I mean the vegetable consumption volume per capita, Korean people ranks top 1 or 2. What makes Korean people have more vegetable, which means that more fiber for their gut health? So today I want to talk about this issue. I want to talk about how Korean people eat more vegetable. That is Pancham. So this is Korean character. Beautiful, right? This is Pancham. Pancham, and especially with vegetable fermented sauce. So what is Pancham? Let me talk about it. You see, this is very typical Korean table. So Pancham is Korean traditional food culture of a spirit of sharing. We always share. We always share Pancham with family members, also friends. But Pancham does not mean it is a specific ingredient. Pancham is kind of the balance. So Pancham does not mean always a vegetable. But for example, if we prepare one meat Pancham, we also prepare 3 or 4 vegetable Pancham and 1 seafood Pancham and soup. That is balance. Okay? For example, we prepare 2 dishes. I mean, 2 meat Pancham. We prepare 4 or 5 vegetable Pancham and 1 or 2 seafood Pancham. That is Korean style, like this way. Okay? So some people ask me, okay, it looks like a side dish. No, it's not side dish. So some Spanish people told me that, oh, it looks like a tapas. Yeah, it looks like tapas, but it's a little different. Tapas means that it's kind of a small size of dish, right? But it does not mean any size. It is balance. It's culture. We share. So it does not, Pancham does not mean it is always vegetable, but usually we use vegetable from field, from mountains, and from ocean. Okay? So let me explain about how to prepare Pancham. We usually use a vegetable, right? But this is spinach, right? Spinach. But spinach has some problems. Too much, right? And it has some bitter taste. Korean people usually blanch vegetables to prepare vegetable Pancham. Then we can reduce the volume of vegetable so that we can have more. Also, through blanching, we can reduce bitter taste. Also, because we blanch only 20 seconds, only 10 or 20 seconds, which means that we minimize destruction of nutrition of the vegetable. That is Korean way. Smaller size, like this big, and after blanching, this big, very small. So we can have more fiber. Also, we sometimes dry the vegetable. It is dehydrate and then hydrate again. Through this process, we can maximize the flavor of the vegetable. Also, we can get the softer texture of the vegetable. So we can easily intake fiber from vegetable. Okay? So that is Korean way of prepare Pancham, like blanching and drying. And the drying, then blanching again. So it is good because it contains the real, the flavor of, we can feel real flavor of the vegetable. But issue is that it has good flavor, but bland. not so good. Bland means not so good, right? So we have to figure out this problem. So we use some magic. How to figure out? We use a fermented vegetable sauce for vegetable banchan. Okay, this is the usual, the Western culture-based dressing for vegetable, right? You use, European people, also American people usually use the lemon juice or oil, sugar, and some herb. That is good. But it has a strong flavor. Also, this kind of the bottled sauce, it is good taste, but it's very strong. Maybe in your refrigerator, you can find the 2 or 3 bottled sauce in very deep places. You didn't finish because it is delicious, but it is a very strong flavor. We easily sick and tired of this sauce. So Korean people, we don't choose this kind of a strong flavor of salad dressing. Instead, we choose jang. Jang is Korean-style vegetable fermented sauce. These 3 items are typical Korean jang, like doenjang means that soybean paste, also soy sauce, and pepper paste. All fermented sauce from vegetable. Okay. These are result of hydrolysis of soy protein by microorganism, which means that it has very strong umami components. These components make the vegetable have the, through these items, we can maximize the mature ingredient flavor from the vegetable. We seasoned vegetable with these jangs. But maybe here, you French people are very open to the other Asian food culture. You already have some experience of jang. You see? Soy sauce. You use the soy sauce as a dipping sauce for dim sum, or sometimes you use soy sauce for sushi, you know? Also, soybean paste, we use the noodle soup base, also miso soup, right? So many people think, okay, this kind of fermented sauce is for soup, also dipping sauce for sushi. But that's not it. In Korea, we use it as the dressing sauce for banchan, like this. Bean paste with blanched vegetable, banchan. Soy sauce, another banchan. Pepper paste, another banchan, which maximizes the flavor, original flavor of vegetable, which result in higher intake of fiber from vegetable. It makes Korean people have the highest the rank of vegetable consumption. And let's go further from the vegetable fermented sauce to fermented vegetable. We ferment vegetable. Fermentation is not new. Every country has the culture of fermentation. Also in Europe, also in France. In Europe, usually European people use ferment the sugar from milk. The result is yogurt or cheese. Sometimes European people ferment sugar from fruit, which result in wine or cider or something like that. But in Korea, in East Asia, we ferment vegetable, like this way. Some people think, oh, okay, what is that? This is like a pickle? No, it's not pickle. It's very different from pickle. This one is a kind of kimchi. We are saying it's a dongchimi. It is cold soup. Cold soup, fermented soup, made of radish. Okay, pickling is It's kind of process of preserving food by using some acid, right? That is pickling. But fermentation is totally different. You have fermented vegetable in France. I found it sucrut, right? In German, sauerkraut, right? Correct? Yeah. That is fermented. Sauerkraut, sucrut is not pickle. That is fermented vegetable. So when Korean eat sucrut, we say, oh, it tastes like a kimchi. Very similar, in fact. This is not pickle. It is fermented vegetable. Okay, this is typical Korean fermented vegetable called kimchi. I've heard that in France, you have more than 1,000 different cheese over your country, right? The same way in Korea, we have more than 1,000 kimchis throughout the Korean peninsula. Every town by town, we have a different type of kimchi like this way, or fermented vegetable, which makes Korean people have more fiber from vegetable. But fermented vegetable is not only for Korea. East Asia, Asian people usually enjoy the fermented vegetable. That's the reason Asian people can have more vegetable. Like Philippines and Vietnam, India, Japan, China, something like that. Okay? Okay, conclusion. I have only 10 minutes, right? Banchan is Korean culture of the food. It's the sharing and the balanced intake. We usually use blanching and drying the vegetable and use fermented vegetable sauce. Okay, that is banchan. So this kind of a fermented culture make people have the more fiber from vegetable. Yeah, you see, this is very Korean style of banchan food. If you are interested in the fermented vegetable, like kimchi, also fermented vegetable sauce, like the soy sauce, soybean paste, you can visit the whole number 4, the Korean pavilion. You can try all fermented vegetable and all fermented vegetable-based sauce. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our presentation is very interesting because it's about the secret of longevity. We try to study the best way to make food for longevity, which is very difficult because each people is different from each other, you know, and each diet is different, and each type of people, man, woman, age is different. One of the interesting things that I did in my laboratory was in Japan and studying the elderly people, the people who live 100 years and more. So we try to take the 100 years people and back engineer why they're having good health and try to find this important point of their health, etc. So this study was done in island of Okinawa, where there is more than 5,000 people who is living more than 100 years. The interesting things in the study is, first, we focused in their diet, because everybody thinks that longevity, good health, it depends on your food, style of life, exercise, etc. But what we find in these elders is they don't have always good quality food. A lot of them, sometimes they like junk foods. A lot of them heavy smokers. So it was really difficult to make very good correlation with diet only. The interesting point for us and for you today here is the part which was very nice is we found that these people who live 100 years, they have very specific macrobiota, very specific probiotics living in their body and skin. So the average people, they have at their bone, at their delivery, average 300 to 600 family of bacteria. The centenarian people, they have an average of 1,000. So they have more diversity, number one. And number two, they have very specific, strong one. So very strong bacteria. The advantage and how to see this, correlate it with health was very simple. We measured the metabolic patterns, but the most important data was the inflammation, body inflammation. Average people, they have at adult age increased high level of inflammation, then developed into chronic inflammation, which can cause all of the problem of metabolic syndrome from obesity, fatigues, etc. Elderly people who live more than 100 years, they don't have chronic inflammation, so their organs are in good shape. Now, the other things that we study the most at centenarian and was very interesting is the level of energy. These people, they wake up every day, they walk, they eat. Some of them I studied was working, they have their own small restaurants. They have high level of energy. So we measure the mitochondria and we correlate that having some macrobiota level in their body and skin can impact their mitochondria and their energy production. Mitochondria is the organ that produces energy in our body. So it is not something related directly to the diet, but related completely to the bacteria that exist in our body. This is where I reach the food industry, etc. When we try to take this bacteria from centenarians in a simple way of industry by saying, okay, this is the superhuman, I take their bacteria and give it to the average human, and in this case, they are going to act good, same as. But reality is bacteria does not survive coming from another people easily. First test, it survived like 1 week. Second trial, few days. Last trial, and the third time is few hours. So it's very difficult to transport the bacteria from one human to another human. Ecosystem is completely different. Survivability is not easy. We cannot take the strong one. The weak one, in other hands, that we find in the dairy industry, they can survive maybe. But the super strong one, they don't survive in other ecosystem. The part which is interesting is I took this bacteria and tried to find the similar ones come from nature. And the one that we find very close to these centenarians, we find it in the roots, not even the leaves, of the Millennium olive tree from south of Spain. We scan more than hundreds of samples from a lot of sources, from oceans to fish to plants, and the one that matched the most the supercentenarians was this olive tree. And the bacteria was living in its roots mainly, not in the fruits again, and this is justify that it has this longevity and strength. What we did with this bacteria, we took this bacteria from probiotic, you can call it, of this bacteria, because it's at the end of the day a bacteria, and we try to ferment it to get its metabolite. So directly this bacteria will not be able to live in another organization. When we take this bacteria from the olive tree to put it in other field, they will not survive. But what we did, we take it, we make fermentation out of it. So we take its footprint, and then we try to give the footprint only to the other humans. And in this case, we could get a very good longevity, not longevity, a very good bioactive that copy the centenarian's body. The main things that we always looked at was the mitochondria. This is the source of energy in the human body. 70% of our weight is mitochondria. This is come only from our mothers, does not come from our fathers in terms of genetics. So it is very feminine organ. And we have it or we don't have it in good shape. Our longevity will depend mainly of this organ and how can we affect its metabolism and capacity to regenerate or to auto-destruct when they are not efficient. This will affect completely the food we are eating, can affect completely our choices, our health, our brain power. Mitochondria is too much connected with all of the organs, from the livers to the eyes to everywhere. So one organs we can target, we can reach a lot of anti-aging or beta-aging qualities. We make a lot of tests in the mitochondria itself to see how can this metabolites of bacteria of trees affect our energy. And we could find easily in 24 hours, and this is the interesting part, not weeks. In 24 hours, we could increase, double the level of energy at mitochondria level. Increase the content of mitochondria DNA. So it means they can replicate, they can copy itself and get more mitochondria cells. The point of what I'm trying to share with you is the health of people is, each country is different, nutrition is different, what we eat is different, level of stress is different. People who is taking subway every day is not the same thing like people is walking every day or taking the bike. So we cannot have a very credible nutrition to say it is good for anti-aging. The most credible personalized one is if we can target into something that all of the humans in this place share the same things. And the things that we share the most is our energy cell production cell, which is the mitochondria. And its function is very sophisticated, very old. We think it's go back to 4 billion years. Human body goes back to 200 million years. So everybody in this room have the same unique point together, mitochondria. If we target this mitochondria through such probiotic system, we can maybe bring very cheap, personalized health food to average people. This is studies, I did it in Okinawa. I finished my studies in, get my thesis with Kyoto universities. I did this in 6 months, and since then I developed the laboratory to develop solutions, how to bring such metabolites to the food industry, etc. I share with you just one example about the probiotics, the bacteria, and how it is really fantastic. One of the diet that everybody talk about is fish. And a lot of studies, people who eat fish, women eat more fish than men, and women have better health than men, and people who eat fish, they have better health than others. But in reality, when I work with some clinical trials, like in Mexico City, people don't afford average people to eat fish. So when I come back to the fish as a human body, the most important thing in the fish is the bacteria that exist in the fish. So we start taking the very good quality fish and suck all of its bacteria, classify them, and try to ferment them and create from them an ingredient that can replicate someone who is eating the fish. And in this case, when we give them just the bacteria part of the fish to the average diabetes people, we could improve their health because it's copy plus minus the people who is eating the fish. The most important thing in the food, I think, in this show is the bacteria that in the cheese, in the food, in the fish, in the bread, or in the way that the industrial is adding them inside. Thank you very much.